Well, news this week that the new rabbit virus, RHDB1K5 to be precise, has been approved for release by the Ministry for Primary Industries and has come as a huge relief for farmers plagued by the pest. The timing of this is critical in some areas. If another year goes by without release, a lot feared that the ecological damage to some properties would be mind-numbing. We're joined by Federated Farmers High Country Industry Group Committee member Andrew Simpson from Lake Tekapo. Andrew, firstly, what's the general feeling from farmers you've spoken to since the news broke this week?
Oh, a huge relief. It's been a long time coming. We were hoping to actually have the importation done last year, and through the application, length of the application, and it meant that we had to postpone it for a year because we need to release it at the optimum time. So, yeah, huge relief for all of the farming throughout the South Island High Country.
Firstly, could you just, for our listeners who are concerned pet rabbit owners, we must make sure that they feel comfortable and know the process. A lot of people have feared that it's being released like next week, which it's not, and what they need to do to ensure their rabbits are vaccinated.
Yeah, they just need to go and get all of their pet rabbits vaccinated. It is exactly the same as the old virus. It's just a different strain of the old virus. So the vaccine that you were currently using for your pet rabbits is adequate and will protect your pets 100%.
Andrew, as we move around the country, and I made that observation last week, even driving down the old West Coast Road into Christchurch to do the show, there was one hell of a lot of young rabbits on the side of the road and a fair bit of roadkill around. You see, where have they exploded the most throughout the South Island?
Basically on the eastern part of the Mackenzie Basin and in central Otago is where the biggest populations of rabbits are. And they're entering plague proportions again in a lot of areas.
And have they just become immune to the old virus? Because it used to go in waves, didn't it? You know, the population would build up like it has now. The virus would come through. You wouldn't see a rabbit for ages. And then sort of the population, that's what happened. They've got immune and they've just kept breeding. Yeah,
absolutely. But the virus is still active in certain areas. But if you don't take out those immune rabbits, they keep breeding. But they don't hand on that immunity to their offspring, but you've just got a bigger population of breeders if you don't do a lot of secondary control to keep them under control.
You were saying about a lot of those hotspots like Central Otago, but being more specific, say the Alexandra Basin, a lot of those large stations have continued their own rabbit control and, employing full-time shooters who have kept their rabbit numbers considerably down. Is the reason why this has got away, one, in Central Otago, I know the change of land use through that basin of subdivisions and vineyards and horticulture has changed, but also, two, that we've just let it go again and we should have actually kept on top of it?
Yeah, it's a lot to do with lifestyle blocks. There's a lot more lifestyle blocks in certain areas. They don't have the same degree of concern about rabbits as the farmers do. So they haven't been doing a lot of that secondary control work that a lot of the established farmers have continued to do. And I just look at Ensclew Station, they've kept on their rabbiters, and they would have the least amount of rabbits probably in Central Otago at the moment.
Okay, Andrew, the effectiveness of this new strain, the RHDV115, or K5 it is.
K5.
I threw an extra number in there just to make it sound more powerful. What do we expect the result to be? New strain, will it go near the top 90% wipeout or a...
No, not at all. Australia are experiencing about a 40 to 50% knockdown, which is still huge, but it's not the silver bullet, but it's just another tool in the toolbox, and we need as many tools as we can get.
What's the long term, if this is just another band-aid to keep them at bay? What's the long-term solution?
It will mean that if this virus goes like we think it will, it should wipe out the old strain of the RCDV1 that's currently in circulation. And we could, as the rabbits build up immunity to this strain, it might take 10 or 12 years, we can then reintroduce the old strain again. And so it means that we have alternatives.
Yeah, and so you just
forward.
rotate them and keep the population down like that.
Yep.
For those concerned at home, because life's changed a wee bit in terms of media and access to information since 1997 to 2018, Andrew, with a lot of people concerned about everything that happens in the country. The process that you had to go through to get this approved, everyone was hanging on their hooks last autumn, and now it's finally got through. It was a bit different the way it was introduced last time, but this was a process to get across the line.
Oh, absolutely, and we want to do it the correct way, and we need to get the science around this release so we know how it works. So if we apply in the future, we've got all that science to back up another application if need be. So, yeah, it was a long, arduous process, but we had a good team of experts putting that application together, and they did a very, very good job of allaying the fears of a new strain, which is a new strain of the existing virus, and they did it very well.
Lastly, could you just give us an outline of the time frame and how farmers can get in touch with their councils to be a part of this?
Oh, they've already been in touch. The councils have contacted all of those people whom are going to be part of the release strategy. There's a very comprehensive release strategy put in place, and that's all in motion. So it's fully controlled by regional councils, and there will be 300 release sites up and down the country, some in the North Island, but most of them in the South Island.
Radio Live Rural Exchange.